Big welcome to today's guest, Corey Poirier. Yeah, kind of like a modern-day Napoleon Hill.
Sir Corey Poirier.
Corey Poirier.
Johnny Doom is here. You're actually the only person that I've ever interviewed that's interviewed more people than I have. And in fact, at 3,400, you're going to take a little while for me to catch.
Corey Poirier.
He's either 420 years old or he's worked out how to maximize every second of every day to create a body of work that is hugely impressive.
Corey's just amazing.
There's a thing called an hour of power. Do you guys know that guy on the screen, Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul? So Jack Canfield is managing a lot of stuff, and I said to him, what is the number one strategy that you've employed over the years that you would continue to employ if you could only keep doing one thing? And he said, my hour of power without exception. So what his hour of power is the first hour of his day, before he checks his phone, before he gets into the mess of his day, is he spends 20 minutes meditating, 20 minutes learning, and 20 minutes exercising. Can anybody see why that would be powerful? Well, exercise, when we all agree that they say it releases dopamine and endorphins, so would you agree it makes us more productive? So Jack is getting his exercise they recommend him every day. Meditating, they say 15 minutes of meditation is equivalent to 4 hours of deep sleep. And by the way, a lot of people think meditation, they think it's like this, highty-flighty stuff. Literally, you can sit there and close your eyes and be with your thoughts until your mind slows down, which might take you months of doing it, for 5 minutes a day, and that's meditating. But they say 15 minutes of meditation is equivalent to 4 hours of deep sleep. And then, of course, finally is the learning. So we've learned that lifelong learners are leaders. So the people that keep feeding their mind are the people that keep growing. And the proof of that to me is the leaders of yesteryear, what did they all have in common? Your Einsteins, your Fords, they all had a library in their home. Even if they didn't finish high school. I don't think that's a coincidence. So, ask a quick question. How many people were here earlier whenever I was speaking? Like, everybody's in the room? Okay. I never like to assume, right, just in case somebody wasn't in the room at the time. So why I asked that is because I'm going to try to build on that a little bit. So you probably noticed an underlying theme this morning when I was talking about those 5 sort of keys to creating an invisible impact. The underlying theme was positivity. How do we create more positivity into our life? And when I say positivity, I'm not one of those, you heard me say it earlier today, I'm not one of those motivational gurus who's, believes that you should just think it and it'll happen or fake it till you make it. I think you should actually have strategies for how you get some of this into your life. So what I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to try to give you a strategy that you can leave here with, pen and paper, and actually start doing this on your own. Now why I say leave here with is because you'll understand as I go through it, I think it'll be a lot to take on for you to sit there on a piece of paper right now to try to do it because there's some parts you'll probably want to think about. But I'm going to give you a strategy for how you can determine how am I spending my time now in terms of positivity versus negativity. Who am I spending my time with? And then we're going to finish off with social media just for a minute or two. Because social media is a place where some people get hit with a lot of negativity and others get hit with a lot of positivity. So my first question before I jump into anything, just so I know for when I get to that stage, is how many people here are on Facebook? Okay, good. So everybody here. Okay, so we'll get to that stage when we get there. I wanted to start off first by asking you the question, how many people have some negative people in their office or have had negative people in their office? Okay. I'll say it that way, so we cover off. It might not be today. I won't assume. How many people have had negative people in their family life? So every hand. And let's just try one more. How many people? Same thing in their friends circle. So you've had at least a negative person. So what I want to show you first is people always say to me, how can you be so positive and happy? And I don't believe in faking it till you make it. So how can you do that? Because I talked earlier from the stage, you can tell I'm passionate probably. And when I first became so passionate about what I do, I actually needed to say, how can I keep this alive? Because I have the passion now, but I was still getting negative throughout the day. And I'm like, what is dragging me down? And I started to realize it was how I was spending my time and who I was spending my time with. So I'm going to show you the exercise I started. I kind of developed and said, I need to figure out a way to decide how am I spending my time, who am I spending it with, and how is that impacting my moods every day. So here's what I did, and it's as simple as this, a pen and a piece of paper. Now the reason I said I'm not going to get everybody to bring a pen and a piece of paper to do this here is because you'll probably want to think about some of these things. Is it positive? Is it negative? So, but what I'd love to see you do after here today, an exercise to take away, simple as this. My writing's horrible. This is just meant to be a sample here. But I want you to just do a chart. 2 sides. And you can probably tell, based on what I've been talking about, the P is for positive and it's for negative. And then what I want you to do, first on the people side, who are you spending your time with?